So do you need your controller with rings and a matte black finish, with a custom configurator on board, custom lighting, and all the buttons you'll need from a controller? Then you'll like the GuileKeys GK21. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the GuileKeys GK21 Black. So let's open this up, see what we got. So here we have our instruction manual. We have our angled USB-C to USB cable. We have our USB 3 extender. We have our switch puller. We have an extra small and large keycap and a replacement buttons here. We have two Kailh red replacement switches. We have metal feet. So these feet you can put under the pad and you can raise and lower it in the front or the back. We have our rubber feet, and we have two sets of replacement screws. And here we have our controller. And here we have the GuileKeys GK21. And so you can see this controller has nothing on the bottom, a power port on the left, a power port on the top, and a pass-through port on the right. We have a matte finish top here, and a clear acrylic base so you can add your own custom artwork. So we have our ringed controller here. So we have all smalls across the body. One large here on the bottom, one large here on the right-hand side. These rings and the button are about 4/4 tall. The ring is about 2/4 tall, so it's 2 for the rings and then 2 to the top of the button. We have our home and start button to activate the controller. We have our screen. This screen is actually bigger than the screen I've seen before, so it's very nice and clear. And you have this light button here that allows you to change the 2 sets of lights. So there are lights going around the controller and then lights that go within the buttons. So you can change your button lights like you can with every other GP2040 controller, but this also adds another light button here where you can change the base color to whatever you want in different patterns that you like. We've seen this on the dual pad Zen. This is very similar and very familiar. It feels exactly the same when using both experiences, so it's really nice. But this screen is definitely bigger, easier to read, and really nice. So what do I think about this controller? I really like it. The build quality is great. When you grab it, it doesn't creak or bend at all. It's all nicely put together. It has the 2 power ports, so if one of your plugs dies, you always have a backup to go to. Custom lighting and all those things are great. So this controller comes with Kailh V2 red switches stock right out the box. So when you first look at this pad, your first thought is a lot of buttons, right? What do I want to do with all these buttons? What game am I going to play with all these buttons? So the reality is, you can take these switches out and put them in and kind of make any custom layout you want. So if you're only playing a basic fighting game that doesn't have a lot of buttons like Street Fighter or Tekken, you can make this pinky stay here. You can take these 4 buttons and move them up here. You can move things around wherever you want to kind of design it how you like. But as it stands, the other great feature is you can take the directionals, which are your up, your down, your left, your right. And here you have your down, left, and right out the box. These are all your D-pad settings out the box. What I did was I went ahead and made this the left stick, and I made here these for the right stick. So 1, 2, 3, and 1. And that way I can control it with both hands. So if I'm playing a game like Tekken, I can play the game with the left stick and I can go into the custom configuration mode and I can spin my character around using the right joystick right here on this side over here with these switches. All these here you can kind of do however you see fit. And that's a really nice thing where you can customize it how you want. But that's not the only feature of this pad. It also has a built-in configurator. So you're thinking, what does that mean? Well, instead of plugging this into your computer, going to the web config and changing your console and changing your profiles, changing your LED modes and all the different key combinations to remember what is what, you can just hold down the 4 directionals and press the top button here. So you do 1, 2, 3, and 2, and the menu will pop right up. And then you just use up and down the buttons here, and that's how you move up and down the menus. You can change all the settings on the fly with this pad. It's a really nice feature, and it's something you don't know you need until you have it. When you're switching around from PlayStation or PC to console, rather than holding and remembering which button do I hold down when I plug the power in, you have to do any of that anymore. Taking it connect to a computer, none of that. Just hold down the 4 buttons here in the top, press all 5, the menu pops right up, and you can work your way up and down to change the setting right there on the fly. So the way I have mine set up, I have the stock profile as the home, then I made a new profile called L and R sticks. That allows me to have the standard mode where this is D-pad, these are D-pad, and everything else kind of is the way it came out the box. And then when I switch to my other profiles by going to the menu here, now I have the left stick and I have my right stick over here. In any game that requires that, I can kind of play it that way, and I really like that feature. Out the box, this switch up here, these were stuck. So I went ahead and just lifted the cap up, reset the switch, put it all back down, tapped a few times. I've had no issues ever since. When it comes to this key combination to unlock this screen here, I am running the latest firmware, so I have a link to the Discord in the description. Click that link, download the latest firmware, and that'll make sure you're up to date with everything else. When it comes to your splash screen, when you do update, you can no longer change your splash screen, so that will lock that in place, but you will get all the latest features of the pad. I've been using this during my 10 to 20 hour testing period, and I've had no other issues. Everything works great. All the buttons work as they should. That was just something I noticed right out the box, but I've had no other issues. So next we have the paper test. So we take a standard piece of American 8.5 by 11 paper, we turn it sideways, and we put it on top here. We can see this pad is wider than a piece of paper by 1 Brooks adapter and shorter than a piece of paper by about the head of the adapter. So why do you do this? Take your piece of paper, play with it just like this on your lap or on your desk, and that'll give you a good clue of what this pad will feel like when you get it home. So how do you connect to your console? On PS5, you'll use the Brooks Wingman FGC, the Mayflash Magic S Ultimate, the AllFightSticks.com booter, the Mayflash Magic Boot, and the Hot 42 COSMOX Booter 5. On Xbox, you'll use the Brooks XB3, the Mayflash Magic X, and the Mayflash Magic Boot. So out the box, you'll take your cord attached to the top of your controller or the side, take your adapter, connect it to the end of the cord, connect to your console, press home, press start, and you'll be good to go. Using any of these booters or adapters, you can plug it right here in the side in the pass-through port, connect the power to the top, connect the other end to your console, press home, press start, and you'll be all set. So let's get some things on the table and compare. So here we have the GK21 and the Hot 42 T16. And when you're looking here, we have our 16 buttons. These are all large across. You have your screen here, your screen there. These are all smalls with 2 larges, one on the right, one on the bottom. You have your action buttons here and your action buttons up here. You have your pass-through port here on the side. You have your pass-through port on the side. Your power's on the top, and you have 2 power ports, one here and one here. You can see the GK21 is taller by roughly 1 adapter and wider by roughly the teeth on the adapter here. They are basically the same height off the ground. So when comparing the two, your bigger question is, do I want rings or do I not want rings? Do I want large keycaps all across, or do I want smalls with 2 larges all across? Do I want the extra buttons, or do I want my standard with a few extra buttons for my character? And that's how you compare the two. Here we have the GK16 and the GK21. When you're comparing the two, they both have power ports on the top and a power port on the side. They both have the same large screen. They both have the same menu setting buttons. They both have a pass-through port here on the side. They both allow you to put acrylic artwork on the bottom. And with the lights being so bright on this controller, it's a very nice feature to put your artwork here on the bottom, and that'll dim the lights but still shine really nice through your artwork. They both have the small buttons all across. This has 2 large buttons. This has 1 large here on the bottom. And in use, they both feel the same. They both have the same switches, just different layouts as far as this having more buttons. This controller does come with the menu button, so you can come in here and change all your settings on the fly by clicking this button and dialing through up and down the settings. And on this pad here, you'll press the 4 directionals and the extra top buttons. So you'll press all 5 of these. The menu will pop up. And again, you just work your way through up and down using these buttons here to change the settings as you would on this side here. So if you're comparing these two, your real ask is, do I simply need the standard buttons with the extras, right? Or do I need the left and right side? So here I have my left, and then 1, 2, and 3 up here. I have my right set up, so I can play with the buttons here and move things around using my left stick and right stick on this pad here. Or if you're playing a game that requires more buttons or special things, you can shift all your buttons around, and you can almost make this your own personal ergonomic layout where the buttons are here, you can actually move your fingers over here. You can space things out however you want to get that exact feel that you prefer. And with this controller here, you also get the pinky button. So again, you can remove the switches, remove the rings, and get the exact layout that you prefer using the 21. When you compare their size, they're the exact same height and width. So that's the GuileKeys GK21. The first thing you notice is all the buttons, but remember, you can customize this however you want. Out the box, your D-pad is here as well as up here. You can customize that as I did and put your left stick here and your right stick on these 4 here and customize the rest however you want to do it. You also have your custom hold the 4, press the top, and the menu button will pop up here. You can change all your input settings, all your colors, all the things can be reset on the pad, which is really nice. You have your custom color button to change all your base colors on the fly. And when comparing this to the GK16, they are very much the same pad. It's just, do you want the extra buttons and extra sticks? You can lay that out right here in this pad. And I think you're really gonna like it. And again, the value. It comes with all these parts and things in the box. Thanks GuileKeys for sending this out for review. Thanks for watching. Bye.